Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Italian Football Podcast. I'm Carlo Garganese. I'm here on my own today to review all of the Champions League action involving the Italian teams this midweek. I'm going to start off straight away with the Juventus match at the Santiago Bernabeu against Real Madrid on Wednesday evening. And most Juventus fans went into this game with no hope whatsoever and expecting quite a heavy defeat. That didn't happen, but they did still lose 1-0 to Madrid. A comfortable win for Madrid. Juventus didn't disgrace themselves, but the golfing quality could be clearly seen today. The first half, we saw some ultra catenaccio from Juventus, just 10 men behind the ball. A decent start for the first 10 to 15 minutes where Juventus had a couple of shots from outside the area with McKennie and with Gatti, but then Madrid took over and they just completely dominated the possession and the territory, and Juventus couldn't even get out of their own half or couldn't even get up to the halfway line in that first half. Did limit Madrid to only really one big chance through Mbappe, but it was all Madrid. Then the second half, Juventus actually started the half pretty decently again and had the first big chance of the second half with Dusan Vlahovic, who went through, and Courtois made a great save. And probably at Juventus' best moment of the game, probably the only really good moment of the game, where they were kind of playing equally with Madrid. Madrid scored the goal, which was eventually the winner through Bellingham. After that, Madrid had quite a few chances to make it 2-0. Di Gregorio made some really good saves. Openda had a good chance at the end that he could have snatched what would have been probably an undeserved equaliser for Juventus. But in the end, it finishes 1-0 to Juventus, to Madrid. I wish to Juventus. If I start off with the positives, then I'll go to the negatives and kind of where this leaves Juventus and where it leaves Igor Tudor going forward. The positives are that we saw a bit more, some better defensive organisation. Juventus have been really not good defensively all season, and in open play, not corners, which I'll get to. They were better organised. I think that Kalulu defended Vinny Jr. pretty well, with the exception of the goal. Gatti defended pretty well, made some good blocks. Vlahovic, I have to praise him. He was completely isolated, like Moses in the desert, for long periods of this game, especially in the first half. But he really battled well. He gave Eder Militao, a tough game. And he was really unlucky not to open the scoring at 0-0. He was put through from the halfway line, and he showed great pace, great strength to outpace and to hold off Militao, and then get his shot away at just the right time. He did everything right, really. I can't criticise him. Courtois just made a world-class save, and he really did. He did everything right. So I have to praise Vlahovic. I think he battled really well tonight. He was up for it. Unfortunately, he was just very isolated. But I think he's done enough to deserve to start at the weekend. And then Di Gregorio made some huge saves from Mbappe tonight. One at 0-0, where it hit his face, and then a number of really big saves. A really double save as well from Mbappe and Ibrahim at 1-0. Otherwise, the scoreline would have been heavier tonight. So, yeah, those are probably the positives, along with the fact that Juventus only lost 1-0. If they'd have lost 3 or 4-0 tonight, then the damage that would have done to the morale and going forward into the Serie A and going forward would have been really heavy. So they only lost 1-0. Doesn't damage the goal difference too much. And who knows, Juventus have a struggle to qualify. They might only end up on, say, 10 points, and then it could come down to goal difference and 9 or 10 points. And so they keep the goal difference down. But if we look at the bigger picture, the negatives are clear. The defence did okay, but they still did concede, and we still saw some real defensive weaknesses. The first was, the defence was sleeping, as they've been guilty of so much this season on that goal. Vinicius Junior hit the post. Bellingham, I mean, he's brilliant at it. He's a beast at these, just being in the right place at the right time, anticipating, knowing where to make the runs, and he reacted before anybody. Kelly in particular was really sleeping on that, just didn't react, and Bellingham did, and he put away the rebound. So that's only one clean sheet in 8 games now. And if you look at the XG in this game, Madrid had an XG of 2.81. Yes, it's Madrid, but yeah, top teams don't concede an XG anywhere close to 2.81, and that's a structural, systematic issue that Juventus have if they're conceding that many goal-scoring opportunities in a game. Juventus midfield dominated again. They're not getting a stronghold in midfield at all. Thuram has kind of fallen off a lot, and we had McKennie, we had Koopmeiners playing, and so the midfield dominated. And I have to say, like, the Catenaccio in the first half was quite unacceptable from Juventus. I understand they're going through a bad period. They want to keep it tight. They want to be organised, but it was terrible. It was 10 men in the box. I mean, it made Allegri's football look like Pete Gasparini football. It was just it was pretty sad to watch, to be honest with you. Second half, they were a little bit more ambitious, but the first half, I mean, if you can't defend like that, you can't play like that, and that be your mentality if you want to try and grow going forward. The attacking creativity, we have to speak about that again. This Juventus team, just under Tudor now, it's just got no attacking patterns. They can't put moves together. They can't get up the pitch. They can't build up from the back. They just don't have a game. They just don't have an offensive game at all. The Vlahovic chance just came from one pass where, a bit like the Napoli second goal that Napoli conceded, where you have to criticise Madrid and say, how the hell is Vlahovic one-on-one and the last man in his own half? So it was just one straight pass. It wasn't like they put multi-team passes together. They worked on something. And then the Openda pass was a kind of a bit of a smash and grab chance. Good little play between the two substitutes, Openda and David, and Openda should have done better. But the Juventus had an XG of 0.57 in this game. Juventus are just not creating enough chances under Tudor. 4 of the last 5 Serie A games, Juventus have had an XG of under 1. And the gap between the two teams, like I said, 2.81 to Madrid, 0.57 for Juventus. I mean, it's huge. And you've just in the long run, of course, you're not going to play Madrid every game, but Juventus, the last 3 games have had chances created between them and the opposition. Far less than the opposition. In the long run, you're going to be losing more than you're going to be winning if that's the case. So not good enough. The other thing I want to say, corners. Juventus cannot defend corners at all. Watch every single corner in the first half. I think Madrid had 9 corners, in the first half. Madrid won, I think, every single aerial duel on those corners. So Juventus are just not winning headers at all. And apart from that Mbappe chance in open play, all of Madrid's chances came off corners. Tchouaméni had a couple of big chances. One header that he probably should have scored, he headed over. There was another one where he had a shot at the back post. Militao had a good chance of a header, put it over. Valverde in the second half did a volley from outside the area, kind of famous kind of Beckham to Scholes corner routine. Juventus can't defend crosses. They can't defend aerial crosses at all, even in play. Can't defend high balls. This was a problem under Thiago Motta. It's still a problem under Tudor as well. And they're going to concede a lot of goals off corners. I mean, they conceded one off a corner routine against Como at the weekend. They're going to concede a lot of goals off corners if this is going to be their ratio in winning aerial deals. So again, another structural, systematic issue there with Juventus. And yeah, the performances and the results are, the results are getting worse. They've lost 2 in a row. They've now not won for 7 games. They've deserved to lose. I don't think the performance was horrendous today when you consider who the opposition are. But if you look at the hard stats and you look at chances created, shots, possession, corners, the XG. Today, Madrid again, XG 2.81 to 0.59. Shots, Juventus conceded 28 shots. Possession, 66% possession, 34 to Juventus. 13 corners for Madrid. These kind of numbers, you've got no chance. You've got no chance. And these numbers, again, they point to a systematic issue here for Juventus. Juventus went back. Tudor went back to a back 3. He obviously feels more comfortable in that. But you look at the team he put out, and this is where we come to what Tudor's future is. Didn't play a single new signing again today. Openda, David came on late. Openda's got no goals in 6 months now. You could see that with that finish at the end. But yeah, Tudor didn't play a single new signing. We know his job is really at risk. Will he survive for the Lazio game? Maybe the 1-0, in terms of on paper, the result might buy him another game. But then it's not just about the results, of which he's gone 7 games without a win. It's not just the performances, of which, as we've just been through, they're not performing well at all. They don't seem to have a game. They're not defending. They're conceding all the time. They're not creating enough. The performance is not good enough. It's not just down to the performances and the results. It's also down to the relationship that Tudor has with Damien Comolli, with the board, and it's quite clear there's problems there. Tudor's come out and publicly said he's basically not happy with the signings. He's shown that again tonight by not playing any of the new signings. He was particularly unhappy with the signing of Openda. The management, Comolli, are not happy that he's not able to get the best, or he's not even really given a chance to the new signings. They've spent all that money on the new signings, so obviously that reflects badly on them. So something has to give here. And if the results keep being negative and the performances are not improving, it's inevitable he's going to get the sack. And when will he be sacked? I'm recording this, at 11:15 CET on Wednesday night. I don't know. We'll see. There's reports also of a breakdown in his relationship with Locatelli. Locatelli put out a social media post. He's supposed to be the captain. I don't like that either, that he's virtually basically complaining and moaning about being dropped. It's not good. In Tudor's defence, this is a poorly constructed team and squad, as we've said multiple times. The lack of quality is there to see. Juventus going to the Bernabeu, and then look at their back 3. Rugani, Kelly, and Gatti. Come on, this is not Juventus' quality team, and they don't have a right back. Kalulu did well defensively and was really brave today and did some good runs forward down the right back. Look at the quality of his ball into the box. A number of times where he could have, his crosses just hit the first man, just not good enough. Juventus, this team don't even have a right back. They haven't to play, or right wing back. They haven't to play Kalulu there. So we'll see if Tudor goes, who replaces him. Well, there's a 5-man shortlist according to Nicola Schira. Raffaele Palladino, according to everyone, is the favourite. His agent has already told Juventus that Palladino would accept the job until the end of the season. That would be important for Juventus because they're going to be paying, if they sack Tudor, they're going to be paying 2 coaches, including Thiago Motta, until 2027. So financially, it's a burden if you then give a longer contract to a third coach. Again, as I've gone through, so badly run, this Juventus club. So Palladino would accept that. Whether he's good enough is another question. Maybe we'll answer that in the next episode if there's more developments. Mancini, Spalletti are on the shortlist, but they want 18 months at least. Edin Terzic, former Borussia Dortmund manager, is also on the 5-man shortlist. He would accept to the end of the season, but yeah, not sure about that. And then Skira said, and I hope this is some kind of joke, Ange Postecoglou is on the shortlist as well. Thankfully, it seems he wants a longer contract as well, because he's on a massive payoff from Nottingham Forest for a job that lasted about a month. So why would you give that up for a contract until the end of the season? So that might, thankfully, that might rule that one out. It's a joke that he's even on the shortlist. But it's not good for Juventus at all. At least they didn't get hammered. At least the morale isn't damaged more. But ultimately, looking at the bigger picture, this is a Juventus team that I don't think there's much hope for them this season. I think that they're looking at a best case scenario, just trying to get in the top four. And actually going out of the group stages will help them get into the top four. But of course, that will have a negative effect on them financially as well. But this squad is not built to play on two competitions. And they're in 2 points in the group. They're out of the qualification positions. They have a battle to qualify. They've got 2 games against Sporting Lisbon at home, then Bodo Glimt away, then Paphos at home. This is where they need to get the results to try and get them through. But they're on 2 points. It's 10 points will get you through generally. So they've got to get 8 points from these 5 games. It's not the way Juventus are playing. It's not going to be easy, So, they have a battle. They avoided a total destruction, as many feared tonight. But I can't really be too positive about Juventus. You can't be. I can't be. Very quick note on Atalanta. I didn't watch their game, but they drew 0-0 at home to Slavia Prague. They needed to win that game, especially with the fixtures coming up for them. So they've got 4 points from their 3 matches. So they've still got work to do to qualify. Again, frustratingly created the chances but couldn't score, over a 2 XG in this game, and couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Very frustrating for Atalanta. I can't say more than that because I didn't watch the game, but it's frustrating. They've had a number of these games this season, including the weekend, where they created a lot, can't score. I think they need to get Scamacca back as soon as possible. Maybe look at Lookman as a 9, because I think Kristovic he's starting to show me. Well, again, I'm saying this without watching the game. Starting to show the limits maybe. The fixtures they have coming up: Marseille away, going to be very tough. Frankfurt away. They've got 2 tough away games, and they've got Chelsea at home. They're at risk there of, we'll have to see. Then they got Athletic at home, Union SG away. So again, not easy. I mean, they've got 4 points in a better position than Juventus, but they've still got to get 6 points from those next 3 matches. They won't be favourites to win any of those next 3 matches, and so that again might go down to the wire into those last 2 matches with them. Hasn't been a good week for Italian clubs at all. 1 win, 1 draw, and 2 losses. And this was a week where the fixtures were quite kind for the Italian clubs in the Champions League, with the exception of Juventus, and they've only managed to get a win and a draw out of those 4 games. So not great. Okay, right. That's where I'm going to leave it now for all of everybody that's watching this on or listening to us on our free platforms. Now, if you want to listen or watch the rest of the content on this podcast, go to patreon.com/TIFP, $3.99 a month, and you can listen to or watch the rest of the show on the games on Napoli with their shock 6-2 thrashing to PSV, and Antonio Conte. What does it mean for him going forward? And also Inter's 4-0 win over Union SG. You can I'll speak in detail about both of those matches. So patreon.com/TIFP if you want to check those out. Okay, ciao.